Hi everyone, welcome to my page, Social Work Prep with Olusari. My name is Olusari. Today I'm going to be talking about test anxiety or exam anxiety. So when you hear the word test anxiety, what comes to your mind? What do you think of it? How would you define it in your own word? For me, I would define test anxiety as the fear that connects with taking an exam. It could be the end of the semester exam. It could be just regular exam that we take maybe at the end of the week. It could be a major exam like a board exam. So that's what I consider a test anxiety. But there are three causes of test anxiety according to Anxiety and Depression Association of America, ADAA. So the first cause is the fear of failure, which is normal. I mean, nobody wants to fail. When you want to take an exam, you're hoping to pass after studying so hard. So the fear of failure is one of the causes for test anxiety. So according to the explanation here, it says while the pressure of performance can act as a motivator, it can also be devastating to individuals who ties their self-worth to the outcome of a test. So that's the way they define it. In a regular person's word, nobody wants to fail. So the thought of even failing an exam can cause you to have a test anxiety. So the second cause of test anxiety is lack of preparation. Sometimes maybe we have other things going on in life and we didn't prepare enough. We didn't think we were ready to take the exam, but you have to take it because you don't control when you take the exam, especially if you're in school. And it's the professor that set the time that you have to take an exam. So if you're not prepared for the exam, for whatever reason, that can cause a test anxiety. According to the definition here, it says waiting until the last minute or not studying at all can lead individuals feeling anxious and overwhelmed. So the third causes of test anxiety is poor test history. Like I stated in the beginning when I was talking about my when I was introducing myself, I took my board exam, the LG, 6 times. So I had the history of poor test history because I failed a lot of time. I failed 5 times. I passed on the 6th try. So that can cause test anxiety, which I know that I suffer from before I was able to pass my exam. So that could be a cause of test anxiety when you've taken it on more than one occasion and you're not passing it. So that could lead to the fear that you connect that fear with the test. So that can make you not want to take the exam anymore. So those are the 3 causes of test anxiety. So what are the symptoms? There are 3 different symptoms actually. There's the physical symptoms, there's the emotional symptoms, and the behavioral and cognitive symptoms. So I'm going to start with the physical symptoms. So the physical symptoms of test anxiety includes headache, nausea, diarrhea, excessive sweating, shortness of breath, rapid heartbeat, just to list few. And test anxiety can lead to panic attack, which is the abrupt onset of intense fear or discomfort in which individual may feel like they are unable to breathe or having a heart attack. For me then, before I was able to pass my exam, anytime I hear LGSW exam, like I seriously panic. I start sweating. My heart will start beating so fast because of my past history, because I've taken it, and whenever I hear it, not even studying, but when I hear the name of the exam, it scares me to death. So that's the physical symptom, the reaction that I get whenever I hear the name of the exam, not even sitting. So it took me a while to overcome that fear, to actually prepare myself and said, okay, I'm going to start studying for this exam, and for me to be able to sit down for 3 good hours to take the exam and actually pass. So that's the physical symptoms of test anxiety. The second one is the emotional symptoms. And the emotional symptoms is, according to the explanation here, it says feeling of anger, fear, helplessness, and disappointment, that they are common emotional response to test anxiety. And I actually did have some of these symptoms. Every time I think of the exam, apart from me crying the day that I failed the exam, but every time that I think of the exam, or maybe I've studied, but for whatever reason I have a flashback of what happened in the past, I get angry. For one, when I fail it, I get so angry that I'm not even taking this exam anymore. And sometimes I'm just scared. Like, I study, what is going on? I can help myself. Who can help me? So that's the emotional symptoms of test anxiety. And the behavioral / cognitive symptoms, that's the according to this article by the Anxiety and Depression Association of America, it says that difficulty concentrating, thinking negative, and comparing yourself to others are common symptoms of test exam, which I also add this symptom as well, because I felt like the people taking the exam and passing, how are they able to take it and I couldn't take it? The negative thought, like, oh God, am I ever gonna take this exam? I remember having this conversation with one of my friends. I told her, I said, oh my God, I think I'm gonna take this exam 10 times before I pass, and she still laughed at me until today, like, yeah, I remember when Olu said so and so. So that's the behavior and the cognitive part of it. Just thinking negative and comparing yourself, like, okay, this person is not better than me, why are they passing, why am I not passing? So those are the 3 symptoms of test anxiety. So the tips that can help you manage test anxiety, I'm going to be telling you about the tips. So the first one is be prepared. When you want to take an exam, take time, set a goal, like, okay, maybe I want to take my board exam in the next 3 months. Have a plan, study at least a week or 2, be prepared for the exam. So in order for you to pass an exam, you have to study. You just can't go in there and just take it and pass. I mean, there are some genius who doesn't need to take, study to pass, but I happen not to be one of them. I have to study to pass any exam that I have, that I've taken in the past. So for people who are like me, make sure you're prepared before you go out there and take the exam. So the second tip is develop good test taking skills, meaning read the direction carefully, answer question first, then return to the more difficult one, and outline the essay before you begin to write. Thank God for social work board exam, there's no essay there. They are all multiple choices, 170 question. And the good part of this exam is you don't have to they will not deduct any if you get the answer wrong, compared to when you had to take SAT. Back then, I don't know how it is now, but when I was taking SAT back in the days when I was in high school, if you get one wrong, they will deduct it from the right answer. But with the social work board exam, they don't do that. So it's a fair shot. If you happen to take it and get it right, great. But if you get it wrong, they're not going to deduct the one you get wrong from the answer that you get right, basically. So make sure you read the question carefully before you take the board exam, before you answer your question. And the next tip is maintain a positive attitude. Don't go in there thinking, oh, I'm going to fail this exam. That is not helpful at all. Go in there, believe in yourself. Oh, I'm ready to kick this exam's butt, I'm gonna pass. Just be positive whenever you're going out there, because you don't want to give that negative vibe out there, because if you give it, it might come back to you. So it's good to have the positive thought, like, oh, I'm going to pass this exam. Yes, I'm going to go get my license. So that can be very helpful. And the next tips is staying focused during the exam. For people like me, I fidget a lot. I have to do something when I'm taking an exam. Even when I'm in a meeting, I'm looking for a fidget, something to just play with. So if you're someone like me, don't be distracted. Just find, if you have to fidget with your hand with whatever it is that you need to do, but make sure something that will help you to focus when you're taking the exam. So stay focused. According to the explanation here, it said concentrate on the test, not other students during the exam. Try not to talk to other students about the subject material before taking an exam. Basically, you don't want to come in the exam there and be having a discussion about the exam. Just focus, what your goal is. Your goal is to pass the exam. So make sure you focus on the exam and just take it. The next tip I will discuss is practice relaxation techniques. So if you are stressed during the exam, just take a deep breath. If you have to step out a little bit and go clear your head, do that. Just make sure you don't spend too much time out there, that the time will be taken from the whatever time you need to take the exam. So take a deep breath, whatever relaxation technique that you use or that works for you. Make sure you do that if you're feeling stressed during the exam or before the exam. And stay healthy. Get enough sleep. Don't cram your exam all night long. Then when you get to the exam, you're too tired to even focus to take the exam. So make sure you stay healthy. If you're someone that exercise, make sure you exercise. Before then, make sure you get enough sleep, maybe 8 to 9 hours of sleep, so that you have energy to sit down and take the exam. And last but not the least, it says visit this counseling center if you need counseling or therapy. So make sure you do that. Thank you so much for watching. That's the end of my discussion today. So if you have any question or there's something that I said that you do not understand, you can send me an email at osarieswp@gmail.com, or you can DM me both on Facebook or on Instagram, or you can just leave a message and I will respond to it. And if you have any question that has to do with social work, just give me, just send me an email and I will respond to you. Thank you so much again for watching. Bye.